A place that is special and meaningful to me is my childhood home. The reason why this place is so important to me, especially now, is because it is a place that brought me immense comfort and peace. Unfortunately, I no longer live in that house, but I can still describe every single quirk of the place in perfect detail. No matter how many times I move or wherever I end up, I think I will always view my home as the perfect place to grow up. The smell of the house itself is one that is not easy to describe. All houses have their own distinct smell, but certain rooms and areas had their own scents. Our pantry used to smell like oats and cereal, and our laundry room was almost always warm and never quiet. The computer room would occasionally produce keyboard clacks and have the lingering smell of stationery. The warm air that escaped from the old black, boxy family computer was something that would always seem to soothe me. On the days when I had the house to myself, I would dread hearing the whirring of the garage door open. I knew I would soon be asked to be productive. The dread would always be short-lived, as the sound of murmuring voices from the TV and the smell of a comforting home-cooked meal filled the house. The first thing I would want people to notice when they first arrive is how lived-in and welcoming the house is. I would hate to have someone over and have them think of my home as some place they feel as though they can't relax or wind down. For a while, our house was used frequently for family gatherings and random events. These were some of my favorite ways to spend time at home. We had a huge backyard with lots of amenities for everyone to enjoy. There was an extra house in our backyard that had a small home gym, a garage for my dad to work on his hobbies and other duties, a complete bathroom, an outdoor kitchen lounging area with a fireplace, and a designated spot on the side for grilling. We also had a small playground set that was used by the little ones and a golf cart that I could drive around the neighborhood with friends and family. It was almost impossible for someone to be bored while these gatherings were happening, and I feel like it made our house that much more special. The earliest memory I have of my house is when I was still sleeping in my walnut-colored wooden crib. I remember it residing in the middle of my room. Eventually, when I was old enough and smart enough to figure out that it was relatively easy to climb out of, I would leave my bed and reach for the small blankets that I would use for my baby or my Barbie dolls. These blankets were about the size of baby swaddles and were very thin. With as many blankets as I could, I would make myself a little floor bed next to the AC return vent, as it was right outside my bedroom door, and I would sleep on the cold tile floor during hot summer nights. I also had a tendency to scurry across the house to my parents' bedroom and do the same on their carpeted floor. I think it's funny how I'd fall fast asleep on these makeshift floor beds just to wake up in my crib the next morning. In short, I think there will always be a small piece of me missing now that I can no longer call my childhood home anymore. While I don't want to stay in Yuma forever, I hope to end up in a house that brings a similar kind of comfort that this one brings. I am forever grateful that my parents were able to provide such a perfect environment to grow up in. The vast majority of memories that were created in that house are sure to last forever, and I am patiently awaiting the day I can tell my children about the joy it brought me.